My name is Mackenzie Kelly. I am a city council member in Austin, Texas, the capital of Texas. And I'm out here today in San Antonio. I believe in being out and about in the community and those that surround us. So here we are today in an unconventional setting where I'm more than happy to just be and talk about what it is that got me to where I am.
I'm Trudy Jacobson, and we are Great American Women.
Who am I as a person? I am dynamic, I am fun, I am knowledgeable. I grew up in a family where both of my parents worked low-wage jobs, and so after school I had to find activities to do, and I was involved in health sciences in high school. When I was in health sciences, I was exposed to an Explorer program at the fire department across the street from me, where I found myself spending most of my after-school time because they were like a family to me, a second family. And knowing that, when I graduated high school, I joined as a full volunteer firefighter. I was ready to help the community on the worst days of their lives, and I just continued that for 8 years. During that time, I also started working in emergency management for Williamson County, and I really learned the importance of public safety. It started to really form in the core of my being, and I saw what happened in 2020 when there was a shift in attitude towards public safety, and I no longer saw the city that I loved, that I grew up in, and I was determined to change that. So I ran for city council, and I was elected in a runoff election. I beat the incumbent, and I've been serving since January 6, 2021. I'm happy to say I'm back at the fire department as a volunteer, and I have the same fire chief, and he tells me I screwed up big time by getting elected. But I think what he doesn't see is that I have a huge impact on people's lives, whether it's I get a phone call about a pothole in the street that 2 weeks later is fixed because I brought the city's attention to it, or I craft a policy, an actual written policy that directs our city manager to change the way that they've been doing things for the better, is incredible. I'll give you an example. In 2020, before I was elected, the city council took away the ability for police officers to use license plate readers in the city of Austin. When I got elected, I realized that we had a shortage of police officers on our force, and that license plate readers could be a great tool for them to use. I was able to reinstate that policy, which was a struggle, but it was entirely worth it because we are now catching people doing bad things, like kidnapping people or sending terroristic threats to shoot people up, and they're getting caught. And they're getting caught because of a policy that I authored, that I wrote, that I brought forward, that I negotiated with my colleagues to pass, and that is an incredible impact. I'll give you one other example. In the last budget, the EMS chief told me that he wanted our whole blood program expanded. And to do that, that required funding. And I was able to convince my colleagues to expand that whole blood program. We just celebrated the 200th blood transfusion in the field. I don't know those 200 people, but I know that they have a better quality of life because they had early medical intervention because of the work that I did. And I'll tell you, when I go out and I talk to the community that I represent, they ask me how effective I am and why I am so effective. And I tell them, we all represent different parts of the city and we all live in different homes, but we all work at the same building. And it's my job as a city council member to find areas of opportunity where our paths on that roadway to the office may go together, where we may cross paths. And sometimes it's appealing to a council member who I know cares a lot about domestic violence issues. Sometimes it's appealing to a council member who has a personal feeling very strongly about something or an experience, a lived experience that I can utilize to try and get them on board with me. I try my best to see the best in everyone despite our differences, wherever they lie politically, because I know that ultimately we were all elected to help the community, and I try to stay positive in that regard.
Hey everybody, it's Trudy Jacobson. Thank you for watching Great American Women. And thank you to the great ladies who have participated in this series. Now I'll let you get back to the show.
Well, when I first started at the fire department, when I was a volunteer, I probably weighed 119 pounds and my gear weighed half as much as I did. I was hazed a little bit, but I say that in a good way. It was jovial. It was because they cared about me. You know, you don't leave your fire gear in the truck bay and expect it to be there 2 shifts later. But guess what? I learned I can't leave my gear in the truck bay. I need to put it back in my locker before I leave the station. I think it's really one of those things where I try not to think about my gender holding me back. I mean, I'm a woman, but I'm a strong woman, and I can do the same job as everybody else. I just have to put my mind to it. And in the fire department, maybe I had to use body mechanics differently to throw a ladder up on the building, but I did it. And I didn't let that get in the way of me accomplishing my goals. So when I think about the challenges that I've had in my political career, being a council member, and some of the things that people may have said about me that weren't true, I think it drove me that much harder to want to be better. My grandfather always told me that I didn't have stick-to-itiveness. And I think ever since he told me that, I have stuck to everything that I've wanted to do. I set my mind to it. He also, bless his heart, he's not alive anymore. But I would like to think that he would be proud of me, because when I first ran for office and didn't win, he told me I would never become a council member because I didn't come from money and I didn't come from a political background. But I spent the next 6 years really learning what it would take to be an effective council member. And I started to get more involved in the community, and I found out the community wants public safety. Overwhelmingly, they want to feel safe in their homes. They want to have their kids playing in the front yard. They want a good quality of life for their families. And they don't want to worry about how long it's going to take for police, fire, or EMS to get to their homes when they call for an emergency. I would tell women who are having a change in direction in their life, or they want to do something different and they think maybe there's a barrier to them getting there, the biggest barrier that they will have is in their own mind. For the longest time, I thought I didn't go to college, I didn't complete my degree. That was going to prevent me from being where I was. And you're never too old, so to speak, to start again and to reinvent yourself. I just restarted college, and I'm working to get my associate's degree right now in emergency and disaster management. And when I go out in the community and people ask me what college I went to, before I started, they would be surprised to know that I wasn't a college graduate. And that doesn't make you less than, but for me, it was a huge mental barrier. What helped me to get to where I am right now was to surround myself with good people. John Maxwell, who's a writer and author, he's also a motivational speaker, says that you are as good as the 10 people that you surround yourself with. I would tell those women that they need to go out and find 10 other badass women and surround themselves by them, because they will lift them up and you will be encouraged to be just as great as they are. I would just ask that if people are interested in learning more about what I do, to definitely reach out. You can email my office directly at district and then the number 6 at austintexas.gov. You can also follow me on Twitter, or I guess it's X now, at mkelly007. And then you can just search for me online and see all the great work that I've done. I'm Mackenzie Kelly, and I'm a great American woman.
Thank you for watching Great American Women. If you or anyone you know would like to be considered for a Great American Women episode, contact us today. And don't forget to like, comment, and share. We look forward to hearing your story.